The violence has already drawn in Israel, which struck Syrian military targets and warned of more actions if the attacks on Druze civilians continue. Now, the United Nations Security Council is weighing in on the escalating crisis. To chat about this more, we're joined from Washington by our political analyst, Hamdi Rifai. Hamdi, thanks for joining us. What does the Syrian army's full withdrawal from the Sweida region actually signal about the government's control and the confidence in that region as well? Is it a sign of weakness, or is this strategic restraint?
It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of restraint and the Syrian government not really having a choice. I don't want to caption that as weakness because there's clearly a plan here by Israel, even before the fall of the Assad regime, to back the Druze for some sort of separatist entity or region in southern Syria. And the way we know that is because we saw that even when Assad was still in power, that when the Druze were marching in the streets and demonstrating against the Assad government, it was the only place where Assad did not go to crush the rebellion. Now what we're seeing is Hekmet Hajiri, a criminal entity. He's not really a spiritual leader. Let's be careful about that. Really what he is he was a drug trafficker of Captagon for Assad, who now is working for Israel. So what we're seeing is the Syrian government acknowledging that they don't have control of this area and that it is a very touchy situation where if they continue, they will further push Israel to continue with its plan.
Now, we're hearing the security has been handed over to Druze religious elders and to local factions as well. Is that something that's going to maybe decentralize the power of stability that's in the Syrian government right now? Or are they literally just trying to diffuse a sectarian crisis right now?
The Syrian government, again, it's done it because they're trying to diffuse an escalation of the situation with Israel, not with the Druze, with Israel. The fact of the matter is that now that they have withdrawn, what we're seeing is an increase in sectarian fighting. So in the last 4 hours, what we've seen is that the Druze, we're calling them the Druze, but this is really just one militia, the Hekmet Hajiri militia, has engaged in a mass slaughter of Arabs who everyone has been calling the Bedouins. So what we're seeing is sectarian fighting that isn't really a matter of sectarian fighting. It's really a matter of a criminal militia trying to retain its control and power over the region to continue its drug trade and to continue its arms trade and theft of materials, etc.
As things currently stand, how significant is Israel's role in the escalation that we're seeing? And also on the withdrawal as well, is Tel Aviv setting somewhat red lines for Syria's internal deployments?
This is purely an escalation by Israel. If the Syrian state were allowed to continue in the area, it would be able to bring control to the area. Israel has chosen to create a vacuum, contrary to the U.S. interests, contrary to U.S. policy, contrary to what Trump and the whole rest of the world has chosen to do with Syria, which is give the Syrian government an opportunity to create stability. Israel has decided that it doesn't want stability. It wants to continue this pattern of war so that it can continue its military dominance over the region.
How likely is this to spread beyond the Sweida region? 350 people reportedly killed, United Nations holding these emergency meetings that we're hearing so much about. How far could this really go?
Well, it already has spread, and it's spreading towards the east and towards the west. And, the idea here is for Israel to create areas that are outside of the Syrian government's control and maybe even connect to the Kurdish areas currently controlled by the SDF. It's creating a destabilization where sects are allowed to rule and control areas based on ethnic background or religious affiliation rather than state government control. Israel's trying to keep Syria in the Stone Ages rather than to allow it to be a modern nation state with many ethnicities, with many religions, where the state defines a unified role for the people.
Do you think there's a political risk for President Ahmed al-Sharaa in making this move? Is this going to cost him some credibility? Or do you think it actually could boost his standing with some of the minority groups?
It clearly boosts his standing amongst Syrians, because as much as Syrians are upset at what is occurring, they understand Israel has already completely destroyed Syria's air force. We have no ability to fight Israel. There's no argument about that. And no Syrian wants continued fighting. In fact, Syria has gone through extensive efforts to try to create a normalization to whatever degree that could be possible with Israel through its meetings in Baku, Azerbaijan, through Turkish mediation, through Saudi Arabia's efforts, through the United States, through Tom Barak's efforts. Syria has done everything possible to de-escalate the situation. On the world stage, most of Europe and the United States back this Syrian government and understand that the only hope for stability in the region is Ahmed al-Sharaa and the new Syrian government. So they don't support what Israel is doing, and they now see Israel as the instigator, the belligerent, creating the violence, the political vacuum, the instability in the region.
There will be still some of the minorities within the region which will say that they're not represented in the 23-seat government, of which we've seen just one being given to the Druze minority. Is this something that is an obstacle that can be overcome? Do you see the president actually actioning and working on this? Or do you think that there's going to be deep-rooted...
I don't think it's an obstacle that should be overcome. Syria is not Lebanon. Nobody in Syria seeks the creation of a sectarian government that is defined by religion or ethnicity or heritage of any kind. Again, all Syrians seek a modern nation state where people of any religion are able to participate in that state. There was no litmus test by Ahmed al-Sharaa to choose the current government based on the people's religions or otherwise. He chose people based on power interests, qualifications, and what they could bring to bringing stability to Syria. Now, the most of the minorities have unfortunately been groomed over years and years, over 50 years, to believe that they should be afraid of Sunnis, of Arabs, of Muslims. And so that's why we see this continued concern. But in reality, Ahmed al-Sharaa has taken every measure possible to assure them, include them, meet with them, do what they ask. So this should not be something that any government wants to see, where Syria starts appointing people based on religion or ethnic background.
Hamdi, I want to thank you very much for joining us as well. Hamdi Rifai, thank you.
God bless you. Thank you for having me on.
Please appreciate it.